with a family of your own, or having a house of your dreams. We're all looking for something in it, even if we don't realize it. I'm not here to tell you about my own hardships, and I'm certainly not here to tell you how to overcome yours. However, I am here to remind you that during such quest, we will find obstacles and adversities, but they should never stop us from striving to achieve what we want, because the results are sweeter than the bitterness that we come with. Sweet are the uses of adversity, just like the toad, ugly and venomous, versus a precious jewel in its head. I like to condense the Shakespeare quote, as sweet are the fruits of adversity. This is a phrase that under irreversible or impossible to solve situations, so I thought, lifted me and gave me a sense of direction to find a solution to what I was facing. Living in a community of immigrants, I have seen the struggles inherent to the lives of such individuals, just language barriers, depression, and the worst fear of an immigrant, the return to a third world country that limits their opportunities. I myself have overcome some of these obstacles, which motivated me to deliver this speech today. But maybe your own struggle isn't rooted to immigration. Maybe a disease, a career, or a family issue, because there are so many difficulties that we as human beings are obligated to prevail over. When my family and I moved here from Venezuela 4 years ago, I thought all my problems were solved. I did not have to worry about whether there was food in the supermarket, or if I was in danger of being assaulted for going to school. But most importantly, I realized I finally had an opportunity to be successful. However, I then became aware of all the other problems that came to arriving to a foreign country. It's just not understanding what a teacher was asking of me, or losing all the friendships that I had built throughout my life. Then, I became aware of that other people were going through the same obstacles as I did. Some came to terms with their new lives, but others refused to use this opportunity to develop their character and find their personal definition of success, thereby drowning in a sea of emotions that prevented them from seeing the surface, where the solutions were. The difference between these people is how they assume a situation of adversity. I see this difference in our school, as many students easily give up when a task requires them to do research or read further to understand what is being asked. And that is what truly distinguishes a model student from the rest. Do you cut corners and surrender in the face of adversity, or do you persevere to get what moves you? When I was in 7th grade, I was diagnosed with scoliosis and spondylolisthesis, which consists of a spinal deviation and a vertebra slipping forward onto the bone below it. It was not severe. However, if it continued to develop, I would be highly susceptible to experience nerve compressing or nerve crowding, which would mean that I would also experience numbness and pain, acute pain in different areas of my body. So I was forced to wear a fiberglass back brace that made me stand up straight until my column adapted to its shape. And if it failed to do so, I would have to undergo open spine surgery, putting not only my life, but my physical appearance in someone else's hands. So I wear it everywhere, under my clothes, of course. But unfortunately, people are often indiscreet with their questions. And I was forced to stand there, with all the dignity that I could find within myself, and answer their questions of why I looked different, or why I had to wear it, while pretending I wasn't any different from the rest. I can still remember the obnoxious sound it made when people came near me and assumed it was okay for them to knock on it, like you would knock on a door. Well, there were moments where I definitely wanted to quit using it and return to my normal life. I instead built resilience. I accepted this new life. And I answered with a smile on my face to anyone that was curious about my condition, and pretended it wasn't even there. Although, like, the fruits of perseverance are always going to be better than conforming to the familiar. So why is it that every time conflict knocks on our door, we have the urge to run the opposite way and let it keep ringing in our ears? I've also been told no many times. Call this my round of no's. And as human beings, most people will experience a time in their lives where they feel they're being told no to everything they desire. My family and I moved here. We got our biggest round. My parents, after a lifetime of education, were told they were not capable enough for a job because of language barriers, or simply because their degrees in this country did not allow it. I also told myself no many times, because sometimes when fear, difficulty and self-doubt combined, we ourselves may be the sources of these rounds of no's. So I told myself, no, you're not as good as the rest of your peers. No, you're not talented enough for the performing arts program. And no, you absolutely cannot deliver a speech in front of so many people, in front of the world. Yet I have maintained excellent grades throughout high school in the visual arts program. And I'm here, delivering a TED Talk, even when my palms are sweating and my heart is racing. This is not a sign of superiority, but a demonstration of consistency. It shows that after getting your rounds of no's, you find your rounds of yeses. Because this is what's truly going to allow you to find your motivation and pursue what makes you happy. I like to see success as an extension of John Locke's theory of Robert. You can take from the commons what belongs to the public, as long as you work for it. Only the person that mixes their labor with what they want to obtain owns it rightfully. And he uses an apple analogy as it follows. If you want to go and take an apple from a tree, nothing is stopping you from going to that tree and getting it. Once you have made the effort to get it, it's yours to enjoy. But there's a catch. You cannot let this apple spoil. You must put it to use. Whether you decide to eat it or sell it. Just like one would never let this apple spoil, we should not let the fruits of adversity go to waste either. Because the rewards of perseverance are more gratifying than conforming to what's familiar. I happen to have an analogy of my own. Success is like a car. Think about the fastest, most beautiful, and most expensive car out there. You have it right in front of you, but it may not be yours. You need to work countless hours in order to be able to afford it. And once you do get it, if it doesn't have any gas, it becomes useless. So, you find the best type of gasoline for this car. You put as much as you can in it, so you can go as fast as possible. And that is what's truly going to allow you to go far. The luxury of this car is representative of your hard work, while gas, the motivation to move forward. Although the fruits of dedication and labor may often be an object, they may also simply be the satisfaction of an improved version of oneself, the indulgence of achievement, but most importantly, the development of a resilient character, of a higher morale, derived from experience, from trial and error. So ask yourself, what is your fuel? What makes you aspire for more? And how much work are you willing